All right, welcome back. Random vlog number 5, trailer rebuild part 2. Appreciate you if you're watching this. Make sure you give it a like if you do. Appreciate that. But anyway, here we are, picking up where we left off in the last video. I have I'm going to say 90% of the trailer chassis is painted. Some things I'm going to fall short on getting done before my deadline, but it is what it is. I'll get that done at another point. So basically today I'm ready to get the axles stabbed in it so I can see what it's going to look like with the spring over conversion. Hoping any day now my new wheels and tires will be here, back from powder coater. And then I can go ahead and throw the fenders on, get those mocked up at the right height, and weld those on. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, there is the new chassis color. I got some of the reflective decals on now. I'm not going overboard with the decals. That's all I'm going to put on there. Going to have a lot of marker lights. This part I shouldn't have painted at all because I still have to put the fender on and weld it. Then all that's going to get coated inside with the bed liner material. So no big deal. But I have I added additional tie down points. I have these heavy duty hooks front of the trailer. I added some here kind of in the middle of the trailer. And then I have ones at the very back. Now these are what I found works best for strapping down the truggy. So the axles, I went ahead and I took the original wiring for the magnets. I lengthened them all. I added like a foot of new wire to every magnet. And then I also 12-volt tested them with a car battery and confirmed that all 4 of them are working. Everything inside the brakes are moving freely. Like I said, all the brake shoes got tons of material on them. The hardware's all good. Everything's fine in there. Only thing I'm going to do is I'll probably pop off the brake adjusters, clean them up really good, and then put them back on just so the self-adjusting part works fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and roll them under and get them all U-bolted up. And there's the axles. Everything's in. New U-bolts, new spring plates. It's quite a bit taller. I'm liking it. Now I just got to go ahead, get the drums on, and I guess then the fenders. And there they are. New powder coated wheels have arrived. Turned out outstanding. Thank you very much to Bill's Powder Coating here in White House, Ohio. Hooked me up. So let's grab these new tires and let's get these taken care of now. Bam! There they are. Rims all powder coated. Brand new tires. Oh, spare. So let's throw them on the trailer. I think I'm going to throw them on here, and I'm going to pull this thing out of the garage and do a little cleaning in here on the floor. Get all this dust and dirt and rust off the floor. And then get this cleaned up, then roll her back in and finish her up. All right, there it is. Got the shackles on the equalizers flipped the correct orientation, so now the trailer is sitting at the correct height now. Looks really good. I like that. That tail is up quite a bit more off the ground. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the new fenders and I'm going to set the ends of the fender on these two jacks. I'll go ahead and I'll get them level, get them at the right height that I want, and then I'll go ahead and mark everything up on where I'm going to weld them. All right, so this inner fender filler piece, I got it marked out. I'm only going to take the top 6 inches of it. The rest of this I cut out a couple pieces. These are going to get welded to the fender and then to the old fender brace that was on there, because this fender a little bit narrower, so I got a gap to fill. So I'm going to use that. That'll all get welded on there. Same for the back. Little filler piece there. The back of the fender, I'm going to go ahead and leave it that length, so it'll kind of be like a mud flap. And then the front of it, I'm going to cut it up 9 inches. I'll cut it up closer to that brace. So I think that'll look a little, I think it'll look nicer that way. I really don't think I need that much of it hanging down in front of the tire. So anyway, I'm going to cut it off. So after I get that filler piece cut, I'll go ahead and insert it in there, weld it all up, and then I'll seam weld it to the chassis of the trailer on the inside and on that top lip there along there. So it's going to get a lot more welds on it than what this thing had before. Should be plenty strong. All right, so I got these brackets welded top and bottom for the fenders. I got my filler piece. Got this cut out. D8 it down with some 60 grit. So that piece there, now I got to bring it over and insert it there. It's going to get welded in. That's going to add a lot of strength to that fender. So let's get that welded on. All right, one fender attached. Welded on back here. Welded fender all along the frame there. Same in the front. That's all welded. Filler piece is in. Stitch welded it to the chassis all along here. And what I'll end up doing is I got some black seam sealer. I will cover all this in seam sealer and this seam right here. So no moisture can get down in between the two pieces of metal. So I'll fill that gap all in with seam sealer. I'll do the same on the inside of the fender where that filler piece meets the frame there. So that bottom edge, where's my finger? Right there. I'll seam seal all that all the way down. There she is. Not going nowhere. Nice and firm. So now go do the same to that one. There's both fenders. Everything's welded on. Got a little bit of primer and some rust encapsulator on all the spots that I welded on. Turned out good. I got them stitched along the rail there on both sides. So now I just got to get the seam sealer and just hit all these edges. I'm going to pull the wheels off, and then all inside the wheel wells is going to be all bed liner, spray on bed liner. I'm going to get all that done, and then once seam sealer's dry, bed liner's dry, I'll put the wheels back on. Then I will go ahead and do the final coat of paint on all of this gray stuff. I'll use the Tractor Supply gray, and I'll put a lot of hardener in that. So hopefully all this will be really durable. And then the only thing left is the wiring. So getting close. Oh, also, I did have a buddy offer me a pretty good deal on some wooden planks that would work real great for filling in the center of it. So possibly instead of expanded metal, I might just go ahead and do the wooden planks because the thickness of the boards actually would kind of help with that little ledge right there. So it would make it, hopefully it would raise this floor, the center section, almost even with this raised channel here. So kind of liking that idea better. And the price is a lot better than the expanded metal. So might be doing wood instead of steel. All right, now that the fenders are all on, they're all welded, completed, I started seam sealing all those edges where any water could get down between the two pieces of metal. I'm just using this barrier bond. It's a flexible seam sealer. I've already applied it to all the outside parts. Now I got to get down inside the fender here. I'll show you how all of that turned out. Pardon me, I'm sick today. All right, so sealed all that whole back edge there. So there was a little gap. That's all sealed. And then down inside here, see all around there. I'm going to go over it with my finger, just kind of wipe it in. And that should prevent any water from getting behind this fender and causing it to rust and fall off again. We should be good. All right, so spray on bed liner, first coat, real thick back here in the back of the fender. So it's gonna let all this dry up and we'll come out tomorrow. And I gotta wire that light. I gotta run the wiring over to the chassis and down. And then yeah, then I can, I guess, do the finish coat of gray. Getting closer. So there's the final coat of paint on the fenders. They're all done. And so far I have 2 coats of spray-on bed liner all inside the wheel well area. I'm probably going to do a third, which is a whole can. Turns out one whole can did 1 coat on each side. So I think I got 1 more can, so we'll do 3 coats. I got the light wired up. A little wire ran down there. So I'll just get the third and final coat in the wheel wells. The wheels can go back on. A little more painting inside here. This one's all done. Turned out really good. Very happy. So we are down to the wiring. And that is going to be fun. So, yep, let's get to that next. Okay, I have moved on to wiring. So I got the truck backed up in here, hooked up, jumped around from the battery to the truck chassis because it's not hooked up, there's no ball. Battery is in. I got that wired up. Little word of advice, this box that I bought with the new 7-pin plug, they're color coded on those studs. Don't go by those because they don't match up with the colors that you would think on the rest of the trailer wiring. So test all of that. I tested all of mine. I marked what they were in the outside of the box. Like the reverse lights, that's yellow. That should be like the left brake and turn signal. That's not it. The power, which I would think would be the red wire or the red stud. No, it's the black one. So yeah, left and right turn signals were backwards. The marker light was not right. They had the marker light as green. It should be brown. So again, don't just assume all this crap is right because it was not. So anyway, that is done. I got the wires kind of thrown down on the floor on which side of the trailer they're going to go. I got these two spools. The blue is going to be for the trailer brakes. The red is going to run all the way back to my backup light. So, yeah, I'm going to button this box up and then start routing these wires and hooking them up to all the lights as I go. All right. I spared you the boredom, and the wiring is now done. This was about a 3-day process to get all this wired. I figured there's enough videos on YouTube on how to wire a trailer. I didn't need to show you step by step. I just did it same way everybody else does it. So we have the distribution block for the 7-pin plug there. Battery box is all cinched down. You got the winch. That's all mounted up. Got a cover for that. Got the new breakaway switch. Got all new 7-pin plug. Got this nifty little mount here for the chains and to hold the plug. Spare tire and a new cover is all mounted up. I like that, America. And yeah, not much to see here. I'll run it through a quick test here. I'll back the truck up, plug everything in, and we'll see how it goes. And there's the boards that I'm going to use. I'm going to sand them down. I'm actually going to paint them black on the top side. So I still have to get the trailer outside. I got to wash all the last of this dirt off the deck. And then I'm going to go ahead and repaint the deck black, and I'm going to add that traction grit to it as well. And I'll do that on top of these boards too. So this will be all black. So that's the only thing left at this point. Everything else is done. All right, first electrical test with the truck hooked up, and didn't let any smoke out. There's all the marker lights. Let's go around the back. This is my favorite part. There's our running lights. You know, the law says you got to have, you know, markers there in the middle of the trailer. I got that covered. There you go. Marker, marker, and marker. Now, left turn signal. Huh. But that was supposed to flash a little differently. Okay. Let's check the right. Right turn signal. All right. I thought that was supposed to be more like a sequential. Apparently it's not. Anyway, let's check the brake lights next. And we have brakes, and I can hear the drums activating. There we go. Everything works. Outstanding. All right, trailer's outside. Just washed off the deck. Gonna let it dry and pull it back inside. Then we'll finish installing the boards and do the final black paint job. Look, looks good. It's nice and tall. It's way off the ground. And now it finally sits completely level when it's hooked up to the ball on the truck. So no more nose up, which made it drag the tail even worse before. So I'm definitely going to have to use the ramps to get on and off of it now, where before I didn't have to. I could just drive right on this thing. But yeah, it's way higher off the ground now. But I'm loving it. So there's the boards I cut out. I'm debating on whether to fill in this last section or just go ahead and leave it open. Anyway, that's where the beaver tail is, so I'd have to make some kind of metal transition, like use some angle to make like kind of like a T shape, so it would come up and overlap on top of those, and then do the same on these boards. And then I got to move these two hooks like over to here. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Bolt those down and then paint everything black. I think it'll look really good. Got these self starter. They're wood to metal screws, deck screws, whatever. I like them. My drill doesn't have enough balls to shoot the first hole. All right, the deck is all bolted down. I took my palm sander, DA'd the surface down. Had some, these were bleacher seats, so they got some really thick like varnish on them. So knocked it down with my palm sander. Gonna blow it off and let's get the paint on it. Oh boy, that looks freaking amazing. Brushed on, did all the edges of the decking with the brush, and well, basically like you would do anything. Trimmed it out with a brush, and then I rolled it out. It's got that traction grit in the paint. This is that Magic brand Tractor Supply farm implement paint. I've had really good luck with this. I added hardener to it, so when this dries, I mean, it's literally going to be the next best thing to powder coating. So, man, I think we're done with this, man. Also, I got some reproduction Sure Trac decals. Again, something else to help identify this thing. There we go. All right, we're going to let it dry, get it outside, and we'll do a quick little walk around, and we will call it done. And there it is. We're done. I am very happy. It's turned out amazing. So let's take a quick walk around on what was done. Obviously, the new fenders, the new tires, the powder coated wheels, all new lighting, all new wiring, new breakaway switch, everything on the tongue, the winch, the cover, added the new hold downs, the decking, it's all painted with the grit. We have the all new LED lighting, strip light, hold downs back here. Yes, actually, I still, here after this trip, I'm gonna take it to a buddy's house, put it up on a lift, and then finish cleaning up and painting some of the braces underneath it. But for now, she's good. Decided I am gonna leave that part of the trailer deck open. I put some grip tape right here. So these are little steps. This is not a step anymore. Some more grip tape on a step. There it is. Love it. Going to be using it in a couple days for the first time. And maybe I'll report back later. I'm sure it's going to pull really good. So, awesome.